Coming up on today's episode, getting to that Thursday night football recap because the Dolphins lost again upon the return of Lamar Jackson. They fired GM Chris Grier, but they are keeping head coach Mike McDaniels. We get into all that and into the Week 9 game picks and our marquee matchup of the week. All that coming up. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Talk from the Crib. I'm your host, Tanner Christian. We're getting into all about this Miami finally making a move and parting ways with their GM. So, Mike McDaniels, we expected that to be a firing maybe next week when they face Buffalo. But if you're new, episodes are airing every Tuesday and Saturday mornings now. So we're going a little bit better for me in the schedule. I have to move the podcast to a Saturday morning. So if you're looking for it on Friday, wait till Saturday morning, right before college game day comes on. Maybe you could check out the episode. But anyways, the Tuesday and Saturday morning from now on. And you do as well as go and stream on the podcast everywhere. And you can do it on the website too at sportstalkfromthecrib.com. So that was the recent change we decided to make in order to, be on the podcast and be committed and all on the same day. It's a little bit better in the scheduling for me at the moment. So we're going to move this Saturday morning a little bit better, get the weekends going, a little bit more information, Check it out on social media, Feel the Heat Entertainment, Feel the Heat ENT on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, X, you name it, we're on it. We got Coco Bean's game picks. She's better than me. I'm just rolling with her. Like I said, she was undefeated last week. When we hit the Thursday night game, we both had Baltimore Ravens. So, this dog is smart, man. This little puppy, 1 year old now, and very smart with these game picks. He's been on the money lately, so I'm rolling with it. So let's get ahead into this first topic. Thursday night football. Ravens beat the Dolphins 28-6. Boos are going out. Horrible play. Dolphins were actually outgaining them that whole first half, but it had more yards. But they were still down 14-6. And ended up losing the game 28-6. You saw a lot of questionable gameplay. The one game play that Mike McDaniel called, it was fourth and goal, and he ran a little crossfade to A-Chain with Kyle Hamilton on him. Kyle Hamilton's pretty tall, and you run that's your best play call in that type of situation. Tua did throw another interception. After the game, Tua's like, the home crowd was all Baltimore, so that's why we had a false start penalty. Like, come on, man. I mean, the excuses in the post-game conferences just keep mounting. And the next day, Tua is this, he didn't play horrible, but he played horrible enough for them to, not even get a touchdown. So, it's just another day in Miami. Like I said, lead you on, make you believe they beat Atlanta last week. And then it's just going to come crashing down. They're now 2-7. They fired GM Chris Grier. The owner, Stephen Ross, has come out and said he wants to keep Mike McDaniel through the season. He actually kind of believes in Mike McDaniel still, I guess, from what sources are putting out there. And blames it on the roster construction. And let me just boil this down, too, because I've mentioned this a lot. Chris Grier has been with this organization since the year 2000, okay? This hold your breath. Take a deep breath. They've only had 3 playoff appearances in this time. Now, he's only been the GM since 2016. So that's the last 9 years. 25-year playoff drought. That is the longest in the NFL. They have not won a playoff game in 25 years. Only 3 playoff appearances in this time. So technically, it's just 26th year for Chris Grier in this organization, and it's just been bad. Even in the beginning of the year, where he said we're doing some roster overhaul, and whatnot, and it's just bad management of money, bad scouting, players getting drafted. Like, it's just been bad. The one draft that really gets to me is when they had 3 first-round picks, and all of them were bust, pretty much. At Tua over Justin Herbert. They had Austin Jackson, tackle. Drafted him over like a Jonathan Taylor and Justin Jefferson and whatnot. We had late first-round corner, Noah Ikanengwe. I don't even think he's on an NFL team at the moment. This is just 5 years ago, okay? When they got the massive haul, remember they traded out Laramie Tunsil. They got first-round picks. They're dealing diamond. Niners traded. That was before. And then the Niners traded everything in order to draft Trey Lance. You look how that worked out for them. But that's how the Dolphins got all these picks. And the Jalen Waddle first-round pick was not bad, right? He's a good receiver. But that same draft, you could have drafted Jamar Chase, but you traded down. That same draft, you could have had a Micah Parsons. You drafted Jalen Waddle ahead of him. It's not to say Jalen Waddle, but is Jalen Waddle on that type of level? No. He's a great wide receiver, but he's not on that level. So that's where I'm like, Chris Grier, man, no offensive line has worked in Miami in over 10 years. Pretty much his entire time being the GM for this team and this organization. He's failed to fix the offensive line. It's like they refuse to do it. Why? Why couldn't he be like the Chargers when Jim Harbaugh got there? He drafted Joe Alt. Rashawn Slater. Built the tackle spots, right? And they're great. Rashawn Slater's out for the year, but Joe Alt came back, he's an all-pro type tackle. Why can't Miami do this? Why couldn't his entire tenure under Chris Grier do this? The tackle he takes is Austin Jackson in the first round, where everybody had like a third-round grade on him because of his history, injury history, and then everything that happened. This is, why? I mean, it's just, he's missed on everything. Even like the talent that was good for us, a lot of people love Javon Holland, who left to go to the Giants in this offseason. Can't re-sign him, right? We let Andrew Van Ginkel go. He's playing well in Minnesota. Like, there's just certain players that really did kind of work with us, but we let him go. We pay these big contracts to Tua. We brought in like veterans like Jalen Ramsey, Bradley Chubb, gave them huge contracts. We're going to be eating dead money all over the place. And Tua's contract, that was his sign that went into effect this year. On his extension, that dead cap's what? What does he do? Like $56 million next year? Can't really get out of it next year. There is, until really like 2027 is where you can get not have such a hard dead cap hit on the salary cap. So financially, Dolphins are really screwed even come next year. Tyreek Hill was another one they traded the picks for. It worked out. That first season was like, oh my goodness, this Miami? It looks like the best offense we've ever seen. It's almost like St. Louis Rams' greatest show on turf type of offense. We were all excited, the speed and everybody running and gunning, and it lasted just half of that year. It was only for half of that year. People forget that. Remember they dropped 70 on Denver? It was basically only half that year. Mike McDaniels can't win against a winning team. These Miami Dolphins can't win against a team with a winning record. They can't play in the cold. It doesn't seem like too many adjustments happen. So the fan base is so excited that Chris Grier is finally gone. Maybe he was our curse. Because as soon as he got into this organization, we haven't even won anything. So maybe the curse can get lifted off of this franchise. I don't know. Because that stadium is on a burial ground. Just putting that out there. So maybe that's why there's a curse happening in the Miami Dolphins stadium. But as for Mike McDaniels, I think he should go anyway. I know Ross, the owner, he doesn't want to. He wants them. I would bet. I mean, it doesn't seem like Mike McDaniels maybe lost the locker room, but we know he's not gonna win over the majority of this locker room. The vets wanted out for a reason. Tyreek Hill was happy he pretty much got injured for a reason. Tua is just, they got to move on. And hopefully, because the season's over, hopefully Miami can maintain a top 5 pick in this upcoming draft and get one of these quarterbacks coming out of college and start over. You're going to have to. You're basically back to zero again, like you were 10 years ago. Like we did 2019. Even 3 years ago, we were trying to retool in and bring people in and whatnot. You're still going to have this problem. As for the trade deadline is Tuesday. So the interim GM is Champ Kelly. We don't know really too much about him, but Chris Grier hired him. He was with the Raiders organization there for a little bit. I think he served as the interim GM there a few years ago. So I don't know if this move was made because Chris Grier refuses to maybe trade a Bradley Chubb or Jalen Phillips or maybe somebody. They said Jalen Waddle's off limits. We'll see. I think Miami should strongly consider one of these guys and get some kind of compensation for him. Not Jalen Waddle per se, but like a Bradley Chubb and a Jalen Phillips. Maybe just trying to get some middle round picks in order to this. We need a lot of draft capital. We're going to have to get hit on some rookies here, and hopefully we hit on some of these rookies. We haven't done too much in the last few drafts at all. Even the one guy, Cam Smith, was cut. Like, he was praised, right? And he couldn't even get on the field. Couldn't do anything. Like, we have been so bad in drafting. Hopefully the next GM can change that. I want a new GM, a new coach, a new quarterback. And, man, get rid of those uniforms we're still wearing that we introduced about 10 years ago. Go back the old way so we can start winning again. Get rid of the cartoon. Well, the 90s, when they switched to the 90s, I guess it's more of a cartoon dolphin there. But this one looks like a cartoon whale. I'm going to keep saying it too. All right, let's get into our Week 9 game picks. We got a few teams on a bye. We got the Cleveland Browns. Probably a good thing they were on a bye this week. The Jets had the big victory. They get the rest, celebrate. Their first win of the season came last week. The Eagles and the Bucks are also on a bye. All right, so let's get into the first part of the picks here. And we got the Bears at the Bengals. Joe Flacco likely out for this game. So maybe Jake Browning gets a call. The Bears have lost the last couple, and Caleb Williams, can you trust him? I don't know. You're in Cincinnati. I want to have to roll with do I really have to roll with the Bears in this one? I guess I do. Because of Jake Browning's starting for the Bengals, I don't know. But I may trust him more than Caleb Williams at this point. But I want to go on a limb here and pick the Chicago Bears. Vikings at the Lions. J.J. McCarthy is returning for Minnesota. Lions coming off the bye. Carson Wentz, of course, went on the IR, so the Vikings really have no choice. Coming off the ankle injury, they say J.J. McCarthy is ready. The biggest thing about this Vikings offense, they're ranked 26th in the league this year. They haven't really got anything going. But the good news is, okay, J.J. McCarthy's finally getting out there, and he's also going to have his left tackle and right tackle for this game. They missed the last game. Christian Darrisaw Brian O'Neill looks like they're going to play, so you get both tackles back. That's going to help you. Aaron Jones came back last week from his injury. So for him, I believe it was a hamstring injury. So he played sparingly last week because they really didn't have no shot at winning the game. They were getting blown out. But so that's good for the young guy, right? He's missed him, but he started 2 games out of his 2 years. It's the second year in the league. So he's missed almost, 23 games total since being drafted. And it's not good. We'll see what the guys got. They're 3-4 on the year. Lions 5-2. Lions are going for it. So Vikings can't afford to dip back in this game. Big divisional matchup. But I'm going to take the Lions in this one. Panthers at the Packers. Bryce Young, I think, is returning for the Carolina Panthers. I'm rolling with Jordan Love, the Green Bay Packers. I had them in my top 5 in the power rankings. Number 4 heading into the week. So we did the power rankings in the last episode for the first one of the year. So I'm going with the Green Bay Packers. I just like how Jordan Love's playing. He got his big revenge game last week against Aaron Rodgers. Playing really well. Chargers at the Titans. I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one. Because, Titans were 1-7. Cam Ward's playing better but this Titans team, this is not very good. I'm going to roll with the Chargers. Falcons at the Patriots. Falcons lost. I mean, can they bounce back from last week's horrible showing against Miami Dolphins? Or Bijan Robinson only had what do you have, like 25 yards rushing or so? It was some crazy stat and a fumble. Are you kidding me? Maybe they can get the run game going, but the Patriots are sitting at the top of the AFC East. They're currently ahead of Buffalo at the moment at 6-2. Drake May's playing like some pretty damn good ball, and I got to give him credit. And run game got going on this a little bit last week. We'll see how Travion Henderson, the rookie, maybe he gets a little more action because Ramondre Stevenson is out, the fumbler. Good news, Patriots fans. Your fumbler, he's out for the game. Maybe they finally hand the ball to the prize rookie that they drafted, and he can get some touches and some explosive plays in this one. I got the Patriots. 49ers at the Giants. Big scatterboo, man. Gruesome ankle injury, foot injury last week. That was gruesome. So, Joe Dart, you're on your own. Your running mate's not with you in this one. I'm going to roll with the Niners. Mac Jones is going to get the other start. Brock Purdy not quite ready. I'm going to take the Niners. Colts at the Steelers. Colts, best record in the league, 7-1. Danny Dimes, I'm not going against you anymore until I see you revert back to your Giant days, all right? I'm rolling with Danny Dimes and the Colts. Broncos at the Texans. Broncos on a 5-game winning streak. Remember, their 2 losses were on late field goals near the end of the game. This Broncos team is a little bit of a sleeper. So it was in like week 2 and 3 when they had both those losses too. So they're 5-2, a sneaky 5-2, a sneaky team that Bo Nix has been playing awesome the last couple of weeks as well. Maybe get R.J. Harvey, the rookie, a little more involved in the passing game or whatnot. But I like what the Broncos are doing. A little bit of a sneaky team. Texans bounce back. CJ Stroud played well last week. But I'm going to take the Broncos in this one. Jags at the Raiders. Flip a coin. Heads or tails. Oh, got tails. I got to roll with the Raiders. Even though they have one of the worst offenses in the league. They're 2-5. They're coming off a bye. I think Jacoby Myers may play in this one. I know Brock Bowers is back for the first time since week 3. So Brock Bowers is back, and maybe Geno Smith can complete a pass. Maybe he'll complete a pass this game, Raider fans. We'll see. You're at home. Brock Bowers back. Feed the beast. Maybe you'll win the game. Maybe get the run game going, too. It's been Ashton Gency, man. Come on, man. You got to get the run game going. He's looked horrible the last couple weeks. Saints at the Rams. Rams 5-2. Trying to stay on top of that NFC West. Ahead of those Seahawks, there's another team that could be really undefeated. They had 2 collapses in there at the end of the game. They very well possibly could be 7-0 at this moment. They should be. So I got the Rams in this one. Saints, they're starting the rookie. They moved on from Spencer Rattler. What's his name? Slough? What else can go wrong with the Saints? I mean, it's just looking bad. I got the Rams in that one. And the marquee matchup of the week is this one. Chiefs at the Bills. Chiefs 5-3. Bills 5-2. This This is a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. Mahomes on the year, he got 17 touchdowns. Josh Allen got 12 touchdowns on the year. But ever since Rashee Rice has been back, this Kansas City offense is now in the top 5. And you wouldn't think that if you watch the game, especially the first 5 games of the year. But Mahomes, he's got 3 touchdown passes, and that's been happened in 3 of the last 4 games. So in the 3 of the last 4 games, he's hit 3. I mean, there's 9 already. That's half of his touchdowns he's hitting. And this 3, I mean, come on, man. It's Pat Mahomes being Pat Mahomes. Rashee Rice really opened that up. Xavier Worthy, remember, was injured in the early part of the year as well. He got injured the first game, and then he missed a couple. So Pat Mahomes, and another note here, Travis Kelce is currently tied with Priest Holmes for the all-time touchdown in Kansas City Chief history at 83. I expect Pat Mahomes to get Travis Kelce a touchdown in this one. Possibly a game winner? Nah, I don't know if I go that far. But I expect Pat Mahomes to try to make that happen. The big thing is Joe Brady's offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. He sometimes tries to get away from the running game. The Buffalo Bills are one of the best running games in the NFL. Okay? Last week, James Cook ran for over 200 yards against Carolina. He was cooking them, literally, living up by his name. He's second in the NFL right now with 753 rushing yards. Feed that man the ball. You're going to need to against this Kansas City Chiefs defense. They're ranked 11th against the rush, so that's the matchup I want to see. How James Cook and this running game, mix Josh Allen in there with runs as well, can attack this Kansas City defense. Who's going to hold up? If you get stuffed by big man Chris Jones a few times, are you going to run away from it too soon? I'm looking forward to seeing what Joe Brady's play calling is for this game, and don't run away, literally, no pun intended, from the running game. Feed James Cook, get Josh Allen involved in the runs, and that's going to be the key to victory, because I know Josh Allen wants a piece of this revenge and beat Pat Mahomes. You got to beat the guy that keeps beating you in the playoffs. I know it's a regular season game, but it's going to have a playoff-type atmosphere. It's in Buffalo. Come on. Let's see. I had Buffalo outside of my top 5. I had the Chiefs up there, number 1, in my power rankings. This game is going to decide who the next week's power rankings is going to be, because I want Josh Allen to come out of this and beat Pat Mahomes. I'm going to roll with the Buffalo Bills in this one at home. Joe Brady, don't fail me. Don't try to get away from that running game. Stick to it, and I think the Buffalo Bills are going to come out with a victory. All right, the next one, Seahawks at the Commanders. Jalen Daniels going back. Seattle come on the bat with Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba, one of the best QB wide receiver duos in the NFL this year. I'm going to stick with them. 5-2 Seahawks are playing really well. I'm going to get the Seahawks in that one. And then the Monday night football game, Cardinals at the Cowboys. Are we really going to do it, guys? Am I going to do it? I can't trust the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray may or may not play. He's still listed as questionable. Jacoby Brissett will get the start if he can't go. Now there's rumors in the who's going to be running back for the Arizona Cardinals. I guess it was Bam Knight, then it's Michael Carr, then it's the other, then Mercado. Like, hey, I don't think it's going to matter, because I think Dak's going to put up some points on Monday Night Football. I'm going to roll with the boys to take victory in Jerry's world. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you for joining my sports talk from the crib with your favorite sports host, Taryn Christian. Remember, new episodes are every Tuesday, now Saturday morning. I almost said it wrong myself. Tuesdays and Saturday mornings. So be on the lookout for that and the new time slot. Website, sportstalkfromthecrib.com. Streaming on there as well. Check us out on social media. Feel the Heat Entertainment. And we're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok, you name it. Coco Bean casts her picks tomorrow on YouTube and TikTok. Thank you all for joining me again. Y'all have a great one.